Good morning, everybody. This is Robert Frank back with the Magic12, and we're reading from the book Psycho-Cybernetics, and we're on chapter 5, so we will resume where we left off, which would be number 9 in reference to the word imagination. And we will continue from there. So here we go. Number 9, intent to improve. Let us carry this over a little from the last paragraph. In your imagination, you must continue to develop your positive intentions, and you must aim them basically at your own improvement, not someone else's humiliations. What is your intent? Okay, your intent to initiate other people or to improve yourself in your own image. Remember this. You cannot truly succeed if you carry in your mind someone else's image. You must develop your own. As you do, you develop a real confidence in yourself. The money players in our athletic world forget their failures and think of their successes only. You do this too, but your success is in your own image. Your aim is your improvement, and you launch this program from the powerhouse within you, which is your imagination. Number 10, orientation for progress. Imagination, creative imagination, means that you know who you are and where you are and what you are doing. You avoid filling your imagination with the poison that stems from obsessive thoughts of failure. You work to reject from your imagination pictures of fear and anxiety. You stop agonizing over endless possible catastrophics and concentrate on building a realistic estimate of the possibilities you face. After you have set realistic and exciting goals, you analyze in your imagination your human rights. You tell yourself that you have a right to achieve these goals. You tell yourself that you have as many rights as anybody. You stop downgrading yourself. You are as good as anybody. Believe this. Stop expecting perfection of yourself. If you expect perfection, your orientation is not for progress, but for negation. Because if you expect of yourself what you cannot, what nobody can deliver, what can you expect but failure? God made you to be an individual, a unique person on this earth, but not a form of perfection. See your successes again and again and again. Bring your success feelings back and savor them in your imagination. If you eat a tasty slice of sirloin steak, perhaps you keep it in your mouth a few extra seconds so that you can savor the deliciousness of this stake. Let it be so. With the success images you revive in your imagination, savor them too. They too are delicious. If your success have been few, make them last in your imagination where they really count. This is an orientation for progress. It can work. Make it work. Number 11, the nucleus of desire. A few words on your nucleus of desire with which you harness the constructive powers in your mind. For when you carry inside you, when you manufacture inside you a real desire to succeed and to achieve and to do well, and when you keep this hope alive in your imagination, you are on your way. You must keep this positive desire alive in rainy and in sunny weather. Some days you will feel that every frustration is bediddling you at once. External frustrations that you try to combat, but which you cannot control. And you may be right. Still, even on these bad days, you must work to keep your desire for the good alive in your imagination. And then tomorrow is a new day. Next segment, the power of your imagination. I hope I have been able to convey to you the enormous power in your imagination. The potency in your imaginations, the potency in your images is staggering. Read some of the more morbid and terrifying works of Edgar Allan Poe or Franz Kafka. They were masterful and intensely creative writers who have created worlds of magical horror with their superb genius for their eerie imaginaries. You might perhaps enjoy reading Kafka or Poe, if only for the comfort of returning to a more reassuring world. Imperfect as it is, but surely to protect your imagination in such fashion into life itself is disaster, where your images pack awesome power. And if you carry in your imagination pictures of horror or catastrophic, if you see in your imagination fellow human beings who are really monsters, your chances for self-fulfillment are slim indeed. You have read this chapter thoroughly and thoughtfully. You have digested its contents. You have lived with it a while. And surely you must by this time understand, at least to some degree, the enormous power you can build up in this great intangible of yours, your imagination. You can use this power for good or for bad. You can fill your imagination with anticipations of pleasure or with forebodings of catastrophes. And your use of your imagination will be a large extent determine whether you move yourself toward pleasure or plunder yourself back into disaster. As with poet William Blake, You must learn to see heaven in a wildflower. You must learn to see the good and the successful in yourself. The power of your imagination is your supreme force. I hope that each and every one of you, my readers, will use this power in a constructive way. That's the end of chapter 5. We now will begin with chapter 6, self-acceptance and self-fulfillment. I will continue. We continue in our search for self-fulfillment. This will be a never-ending search. In it, we carry forward the purpose of our lives. Perhaps you will fail to achieve some of your goals. You may not be able to earn income in 5 figures. You may never buy a new Cadillac. You may never take a cruise around the world. Well, may I say this? I hope that you achieve all the goals which are meaningful for you. But still, you are in good shape. If many fall through, but you attain your main goal, a peaceful sense of self-fulfillment. Now we will consider one of the great invisible, intangible, untouchable, yet all-important aspects of self-fulfillment. Self-acceptance. How important it is to be able to accept yourself. For in the final analysis, who is the more fortunate individual? The one who makes millions of dollars, circles the globe climbing mountains and going on safaris, owns estates in half a dozen different countries, and hates himself? Or the one who quietly works at his humble job, unacclaimed and financially unrewarded, who nevertheless accepts himself for what he is? The answer is obvious. Every day as you go around this confused world in which so many false values may infect you, if you are vulnerable, you must remind yourself that you must accept yourself as you are. Stop downgrading yourself. So what if you're not a movie star? So what if you're not a member of the jet set? Stop expecting yourself to live up to goals that are fantasy. Come back down to earth and live a little. Remember this, and remember this every day. You will never be happy if you spend your life trying to be someone else. God created you as a unique individual. You have within you an authentic greatness, all your own. Use it. Don't waste it. You waste it when you try to be someone else for the simple reason that you are not someone else. Tell yourself to accept yourself every day, even as the anxieties and the pressures of the day billow around you. Tell yourself this. Take a few minutes off to remind yourself to accept yourself, and you will go back to your pressing responsibility, feeling refreshed. You move towards self-confidence when you feel big enough to make peace with your human failings without hiding behind deception and rationalization. Come out of hiding. You are not a criminal. You are an imperfect human being. All of your life, you will make mistakes, perhaps every day of your life. Mistake making does not make you a criminal who must hide and appear in public only in some form of masquerade, which is a lessening of yourself. Our aim is to move towards self-acceptance, and we will spell out once again your guide to self-acceptance. Again, the word that we're going to use is self-acceptance. Yes, this is your guide to self-acceptance. Study it carefully. Number 1, search for the better you. 2, enterprise. 3, longing for growth. 4, fact versus fantasy. 5, aspiration, autonomous. C, courageous struggle. C again, compassionate attitude. E, expectation of miracles. P, preparation for pleasure. T, truth-seeking. A, active awareness. N, nucleus of affirmation. C, concentration plus. And E, enthusiastic effort. To continue, self-acceptance. This is what we're after. Now, how do we take aim on its achievement? Number 1, search for a better you. You wake up in the morning, and if you're human, perhaps you grumble and ground around for a few minutes. Then you look in the mirror as you ponder your nose or shave. But what do you see? Someone you like? Someone you dislike? This is so vital. Are you searching for a better you? Do you want to find and build a better you? Or are you looking at yourself in your mirror superficially, unthinking, not even dreaming that you are a richer personality than you think you are? Not ever dreaming that it is possible to better yourself. Not even dreaming of you that could be. You seat yourself to eat breakfast. Your eyes are wide open now. You are squinting at yourself in the mirror, and you begin to read your morning newspaper. But as you read it, as you quickly survey what's going on in the world, how about making another quick survey? One of the world inside you. What is the news from your world? Let us hope it is better than what you read in your paper. Surely there are fewer wars, more positive negotiation, less intense work stoppages, and no strikes against yourself. Anyway, write a good newspaper about yourself. Write a better one every day as you search for a better you. Did it ever occur to you that there is real greatness in you? Did it ever occur to you that this greatness awaits recognition from you? Did it ever occur to you that you are your most important human being and that the fabulous people you read about in your newspaper are of no consequences compared to your importance to yourself? And did it ever occur to you that in your uniqueness as a human being, you have an uncommon potential which you owe it to yourself to nurture? Accepting yourself, excuse me, for what you are, refusing to model yourself on other people. Keep searching for the better you. Accept yourself as you are, and yet at the same time, keep building on this actuality and making more satisfying this reality. Help yourself. Everybody sometimes needs help from someone. Even Aristotle got it from Alexander the Great, who, in the hectic days of his military victories, found time to collect specimens of a wide variety of nature's life and dispatch them to his philosophical friends for his study. And this was instrumental in helping Aristotle to become the founder of natural science. You must recognize yourself and help yourself. You must help yourself to become the person you want to be. Number 2, enterprise. This search for the better you is your greatness, is your greatest enterprise. It is an adventure in creative self-acceptance. No segment of your life can exceed this in significance. Enterprise is your creative effort to solve the enigma of you. You try to understand and rise above your complexities and problems. You work to improve yourself. You ask yourself, why do I keep worrying about things that never or very seldom happen? Why do I keep telling myself I am a failure because I failed once or twice, or a few dozen times, in the midst of my successes? Why do I force my opinions on others when I know this will lead only to resentment? Why do I hold a grudge about something that happened years ago when this will only hurt me? With enterprise, you do battle to the negative feelings that would belittle you and to destroy your true identity. With enterprise, you increase the strength of your personality as you seek to find new horizons and to more fully accept the horizons you have already discovered. With enterprise, you move forward into the world as a dynamic force. Enterprise means that you are the president of a company. You are a VIP, chairman of the board. Your vote is decisive. Your wealth staggers the imagination. You are a growth company whose price earnings ratio is conservative no matter what the figures, as you build your structure of unique resourcefulness. Too many people spend the precious days of their lives waiting for D-O-T. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
There's somebody in the room. Oh, I see the back end of a computer.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, hello, hello. It's a beautiful day. You came in at a perfect time. Tell me, what is a GODOT?
Godot? I don't know.
Well, if it's in the book, it's got to be a word.
Godot?
Well, I continue reading here for a second, and maybe you can tell me.
Okay.
I've been reading, but I'll start up at the top of the paragraph. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
Too many people spend the precious days of their lives waiting for Godot, like the characters in the play by Samuel Beckett. They place themselves in positions of helpless passivity, waiting, 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 and waiting for something that never comes. They look for someone else to come help them when they must take the initiative and help themselves. Then, like Beckett's frustrated people, they punish themselves and punish others and endlessly recite their complaints and tales of woe. And of course, they never find what they seek, nor they really look. What they need, what you need, is enterprise. Question, what's Godot? Okay,
No idea.
no idea.
I know what the idea means.
Yeah, I believe I
That
get the concept.
people pretty much sit around waiting for somebody to come around and bless them, give them something for free when they should be working, when they should be enterprising, when they should be doing their part to make ends meet.
Yep,
And
I agree. So I guess
so,
that means I'm a Godot.
no, you're not. You're not a Godot. You work every year, every month, every day.
Every day. Yeah, I'm out there doing what I can do.
That's all we can do is do what we can do.
Speaking of that, I have written. I'm not finished with it yet, but I'm going to make another video that will probably only be about 15 minutes long. I'm going to call it Fantastic 12 000. And what it's basically going to be is it's going to be a little bit about explaining what True United is and what our goals are.
Okay.
So that, as people go through this, they're going to notice that this is not just reading, but we are encouraging people to join us and register with True United and learn how to make money in all the things they buy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was a short footnote.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go back to reading, and we're on number 3. And by the way, we're on chapter 6 now.
I've got exactly 11 minutes left. I can stay here, so let's go for it.
All right, let's go for it. All right, number 3, longing for growth. As you accept yourself for what you are, you free your capacity for growth. Since you will accept yourself as you are, you will accept yourself. If you fail, therefore, you can move toward growth without fear. You long for growth, and this is a wonderful desire. It is unfortunate that so many adults have renounced this desire and have settled back instead into a form of inertia, which is a tragedy because when they were children, chances are it was alive. Close your eyes now and turn on the motion picture projector in your mind and see a baby. For here is longing for growth in action. The baby reaches out. It reaches out to grow through touching and seeing and probing and tasting and hitting and tearing apart. The baby investigates its little world with all the curiosity of a Newton, a Pasteur, or a Galileo. The baby's experimentations never stop. Now, how about you? You too owe it to yourself to explore your world. You must take out your compass. You must create latitude and longitude for yourself. You must be your own pilot. and your own navigator. Your destination, new islands of belief in yourself, new routes to peace of mind, new fortresses within which you can nourish the seeds of your increasing self-acceptance. In accepting this longing for growth, you also accept the world of dangers, where you renounce womb-like living in which you can never get hurt, but can never find satisfaction because you will never take a chance.
You know what I heard?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what another name for the umbilical cord is?
No, I don't.
It's womb service.
Womb service. I like that one.
Womb service.
That makes sense.
That you don't have to pay extra for.
Yeah, free room service, right? Anyway, back to reading.
Sorry I interrupted.
Oh, that's all right. I like interruptions because that way we can discuss what I'm reading. If you have a question or even a comment about what I'm reading,
Yeah.
or even a good joke if it passes through your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I'm always thinking.
I know you are. That's good. I praise that. Anyway, back to the old book. Still, you seek to minimize and control the dangers and to focus on the positive goals and straightforward means of attaining them. You cannot overlimit yourself. True, you must acknowledge reasonable limitations, but this is different from over-limiting yourself. When you over-limit yourself, you allow fear to take over your body and soul, and you block yourself off from growth.
You know, I was talking about that on my daily meditation.
Oh, were you?
The fear is the opposite of faith, but perfect love casts out fear. And I said, if we spend more time loving people, loving each other, there's no fear involved. And so we can get the desires of our heart if we cast that fear out simply by loving others and loving God and loving ourselves. So I thought that was kind of pertinent, that love overcomes all these terrible evils if we can just love each other.
Oh, well, I agree with that. You know, I got a thing here. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole for just a second because I got a thing out of a magazine here that really blew my mind away.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that since the beginning of the United States of America, 93.5% of the calendar years between 1775 and 2018 was devoted to war and military forces. Out of that, only I think it's 16 years, 16 years we have had no conflicts, yet 228 years we have. So there's a very, very great lack of love in the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And we know who will see to that.
Yeah.
Our old adversary.
Yes.
Loves to stir things up, loves to create conflict, and God just loves each other. God just loves us, and we're supposed to love each other.
Yeah, and this is something that needs to be taught all over the world, and I think pretty much we all know that. And that's another reason I enjoy reading these books, is because it does boil down to one person, you.
Yeah.
You know, that's why with the Magic12, I got the idea that, and I think, and you know it is true, that Jesus Christ, Yeshua, got 12 disciples, which became apostles. And with those 12, he changed the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe with our program, we can do exactly the same thing.
Yep.
Okay, I'll go back to the book.
Well, I'm going to go to my other call, buddy. So.
All right. Well, I'll see you later.
Sorry I can't stay. Sorry I came late. I was feeding Mom her lunch, and she wanted to go to the bathroom and do all that stuff. So, but don't forget my call at 4 o'clock your time. So if you can
All
make
right.
it, it's great. And Steve is having one on the phones at 11 o'clock your time. So
11 this morning?
yeah.
All right.
2 o'clock Eastern.
All right. I'm going to see if I can get to that one.
All right. Talk to you later, buddy. God bless.
God bless.
I love you, man.
Love you too. All right. Back to the book. Over limitation carries with it a narrowness of perspective, resulting in a grave tumor of doubt that obstructs your vision and keeps you from realizing your own worth as a human being. You then surrender to loneliness that separates you both from yourself and from others, and constricting your personality. You impose a jail sentence on yourself, often a sentence for life. Reflect upon this very seriously. You are not a criminal. You have committed to no punishable offense against society, and yet you may have imprisoned yourself without even a lawyer, without even a lawyer to defend you, without a jury trial, with only one extremely severe and unfair judge in attendance, you. You are free only when you accept yourself as you are, yet extend yourself outward into life, seeking growth, refusing to let negative feelings plunge you into a bleak bleak penitentiary in your mind. Number 4. Give me just a second. I might add that I accept my sinus, even if I don't like it. Okay, number 4. Fact versus fantasy. You must learn how to differentiate between fact and fantasy. This is basic to any form of healthy living. Your communication with yourself must be real. If you keep mulling over and over in your mind some mistake or some misfortune of the past, you are living in a dream world of fantasy, not in reality. It is when you forget your grievances of the past and live in the present that you begin to live in the world of fact. The renowned Italian dramatist Luigi Pirandello wrote a play called Six Characters in Search of an Author. These characters were searching for the author to find their identity. Now, Psycho-Cybernetics, cybernetically speaking, you are the author in search of 6 characters. All you seek, happiness, unhappiness, confidence, frustration, success, failure, all 6 of you. But which roles do you choose to play? Do you choose to play happiness or unhappiness? Do you choose to play confidence or frustration? Do you choose success or failure? You are the author. You are the director. You can instruct the actor. You can rewrite the script and remold the actor. As you do this, you still steer yourself toward fact or toward fantasy. You strengthen or weaken your self-image. You do this with self-acceptance. You choose reality and with it the roles of happiness, confidence, and success. With self-acceptance, you no longer need the unreal world of fantasy because the way you are is all right for you. Mirandiello also wrote, "You are what you think you are," in which he differentiates between reality and illusion. This is such an important distinction. You must at all times be as aware of this distinction as you possibly can. Are you living through prestige symbols, striving to keep up with others in fantasy? Then you are not living your own life. Your function at your best when you accept yourself so well that you will not let your mistakes and imperfections drive you fearfully into a make-believe world. Number 5, aspiration autonomous. I probably not pronouncing that right, but so be it. I accept myself. One of the basic aspects of self-acceptance is aspiration, in that you believe in yourself and strive to transform your belief into creative performance. In aspiration, you move toward your goals creatively and you pursue opportunity wherever you find it. Aspiration means that you accept yourself not in a passive but in an active sense. You know yourself as a goal striver, and you know happiness, and you feel happiness as reaching your goals. Your emotional antennae, your own radar system, you must use to pierce the clouds of frustration, blocking off the sunshine in your mind. Your own astronaut, you explore the inner space in your mind and launch your capsule, not toward the wonderful world of self-fulfillment. You safely value your controlling valve is your degree of self-acceptance. Your self-acceptance enables you to put a bolstering floor under you to protect you from misadventures and failures. If you accept yourself, you cannot lose. Recently, I attended a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous on the West Coast, and I listened to a doctor, a member, talk about the development of alcoholism in an individual. from occasional drinks to heavy drinking to blackouts and remorse. We can organize too. Suppose that we call our organization Aspiration Anonymous. And here are our rules. A, an island within yourself. You are anonymous. B, you turn your back on negative feelings and will not allow them to destroy your faith in yourself. C, you concentrate on positive goals. You set your goals, then you move to achieve them. D, in your autonomy, though you are an island within yourself, still you stay on the mainland with other people and share your self-respect with them. Number 6, courageous struggle. You accept life as it is, and just as you accept yourself with your many imperfections, you also work to accept the world with its many imperfections. You are realistic, but you do not despair. I am fortunate in that my father taught me the meaning of courageous struggle. He came to this nation from Australia, an impoverished young man, and he worked hard, courageous, struggling to make money in his work, fabrics. He had a life that was a model of courage. He did not upbraid himself when he made mistakes, and he did not surrender to despair. He would not buckle under to bullies. He would even protest neighborhoods from bullying. Courage goes with self-acceptance as ham goes with eggs. And do not believe you can feel true self-acceptance if you do not have the capacity to struggle courageously for your rights. Number 7, compassionate attitude. Compassionate attitude is almost synonymous with self-acceptance, for it is not enough, not nearly enough, to be compassionate towards others. Compassion must start with yourself. Amen. If you do not forgive yourself for your mistakes and for your human feelings, you obviously cannot accept yourself. There is much talk about alienation these days, and we hear again and again about alienated individuals and about an alienation toward the organization of society. But what about the individual's alienation from himself? This is what is fundamental. No matter what the circumstances, you must refuse to allow yourself to be alienated from yourself. You must accept yourself come what may. You must accept yourself in sunshine, rain, snow, hail, or sleet. You must accept yourself in riches, poverty, as creditor or debtor. You must accept yourself and feel compassionate for yourself when you talk in a group with fluency and intelligence, or when in a group you are tongue-tied and incoherent. Your compassion for yourself must extend to all situations, to all characteristics, to all possible contingencies. Any good, excuse, excuse me, I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. Your compassion for yourself must extend to all situations, to all characteristics, to all possible contingencies. Any good friend will give you the benefit of compassion, attitude when you need it from him. The least you can do is give the same compassion to yourself. Earlier, I wrote about of my dad bad days. Let me tell you about another bad day. It was raining when I woke up, grumpy, and first off, I cut myself shaving grimly. I bandaged my chin, dressing. I groped for my goals since I hadn't slept as well as I usually did. My thinking wasn't too clear. Yes, an operation in the morning, a conference with my publisher in the afternoon. In the evening, I would work on my next book. Okay, I was finally rolling, or was I? As I was buttoning my shirt, a button came off in my hands. A small thing to be sure, but in the mirror, I noticed that the Band-Aid hadn't stopped the bleeding on my chin. Breakfast was not too pleasant. The morning newspaper headlines, unsettling news. It was the first of the month, which brought a pile of bills. Then a relative phoned, illness in the family. Now, what did I do with my day? I did what I always do on bad days. I reformulated my goals. Maybe I would not make new friends this day. Maybe I would not be considerate or tactful as on days when I felt better. Maybe I would not be as productive, but I would reach some goals. A, I would perform my operations efficiently and successfully. B, I would confer with my publisher. I would make my points. I would listen to his. This would satirize my thinking on the book I was writing. C, no more goals. The other goal to work on my book. No, tomorrow. This was not manna type thinking. I had to reorganize my limitations on this day. I was not up to par. And I accepted myself with compassion. I felt compassion for myself even though I was not at my best. You too must give yourself compassion. Number 8, expectation of miracles. Recently, I drove from Salinas, California to San Jose, approximately 50 miles away, to speak one Sunday morning at a church. Time was running short, and we didn't know the road too well. Only a miracle would get me there on time, I said to myself. 1 minute before the services started, I walked into the minister's office, and we both sighed in relief. Behind his chair, I saw a sign. It read, "Expect a miracle." All of us occasionally suffer from feelings of frustration and despair, and I feel that we are unlucky that we just cannot get a break in life. I do not believe there is anybody who doesn't once in a while feel this way. And at such times, all of us can use a miracle or the expectation of a miracle. And you have every right to expect a miracle, every right to believe that a miracle is forthcoming, but not in a literal sense, of course. No one can literally expect miraculous intervention in his behalf. Your miracle must come from inside yourself. It must come from your faith in yourself, no matter how trying the pressures. It must come from your attitude of determination in crises. As you turn crises into creative opportunities, it must come from the support you give yourself under all circumstances. The real miracle you can and must accept, then, is your self-acceptance. Your acceptance of your weakness, your acceptance of your strength, your acceptance of your imperfections. Once you accept yourself, you can give yourself help that is little short of miraculous. Number 9, which, I am looking at the clock, we will move this on to upcoming Monday. As I mentioned before, I believe on another tape, Tuesday I have an engagement that I have to be to, so I will not be here on Tuesday. I believe that's the 22nd of January, but I plan on doing the reading on the 21st of January instead. And of course, then we'll just go back to the regular schedule and time. So in closing, I'd just like to say that again, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I hope that there are people out there that will gain a benefit from what I'm doing. And I also pray that there are people that just possibly what they're hearing may change their lives and improve their lives in the world they live. And I do know from my own experience that self-acceptance is probably, at least for me, one of the most important things that one can do. And it's not easy. And of course, I don't have the time to go into my life. Maybe one day I'll do that. But I do believe and I accept myself because that's who I am, and I can't change myself, and I don't want to change myself except to improve myself in the relationship of being able to get more out of life and build and help other people within the world to grasp the knowledge that are in these books. And I'm sure that there are some places in the world that these books may not even be attainable. I don't know. But anyway, God bless. It's a beautiful day, even though it might snow. It is a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you, in this case, on Monday, and have a great day, and may your successes be greater than your imagination. I thank you for coming, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.